Papa, brother and sister, let's stand together to fight this deadly disease now. Walk on the world we live in, border uncertainty, no security, everything is possible. It could be your mother, your father, even your sister. Let's stand together to fight this deadly disease now. From Asia to Europe, Corona. Europe to America, Corona. America to Africa, Corona. Take precaution, Corona. It could be your mama, Corona. Your brother, sister, or father, Corona. Let's stand together, Corona. Mama Liberia, Corona. God bless Mama Liberia and the rest of the world. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Good evening, viewers. What a warm way to welcome you to LNTV News Live. 30 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. I'm Cecilia Glickly Clark, anchoring tonight's edition, and these are the top stories we're following. Government refused claims that constructing the Invincible Park opposite Fish Market in Sinkal will cause the women prayer group in the area to vacate. Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala describes community engagement as the best tool to combat disease outbreaks. President George Weah urges Ivorian refugees to live in accordance with the laws of Liberia. And elsewhere in Africa, United Nations mission in South Sudan condemns an attack on polio workers in that areas. All these stories, plus much more, all coming up. But first, let's take a short break to be right back. And thanks for rejoining us. Let's take our developments. The Liberian government has refuted claims that construction of the Invincible Park would cause the women prayer group in the area to vacate the premises. According to a release, the park will have a separate center for the conduct of the group's prayer as pronounced by President George Weah during the park's groundbreaking. The release quotes President Weah as describing work being done by the women as patriotic, emphasizing that it requires the construction of a separate prayer center for their safety and in appreciation of their hard work. The Liberian leader said the decision to construct the Invincible Park was reached through the guidance of the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority after the park had satisfy all safety guidelines set up by the authority. President Weah clarified that the park, when completed in 4 month period, will be reasonably distanced from the runway as mandated by the Liberia Civil Aviation Authority. President George Weah has dedicated a newly constructed rubber plant in Seklepi, Nima County. Speaking when he cut the ribbon of the facility, President Weah reiterated his commitment to ensure Liberians remain major actors in the economy.
My fellow citizens, Liberia will no longer be spectator in their own economy. I said it and I meant it. Today, you can see that Honorable Conway is leading what I said. And we're pushing my minister and the legislature to make sure that what I stated, that this company will review the document. After we cancel the document, we review the document. This company passed through the rectifier, and this thing was signed for him to be legitimized because it's a Liberian owned brand. I want to thank you for encouraging everyone in the sector. We just spoke the other day at the agricultural program that Liberians will come forward. If you cannot protect your own economy, other people will do it for you. It's a good thing to compete. Whether your state is low or is high, competition is good. When your scale is low and you run competition, it can be high.
As the news of the outbreak of Ebola in neighboring Guinea spreads, Liberia is said to be leaving no stone unturned to ensure that all necessary mechanisms are put in place to prevent any outbreak in the country. Addressing the Information Ministry press briefing Wednesday, Health Minister Dr. William Jala said there is no case of Ebola in Liberia as being speculated in some quarters.
Have Liberia done since we got the news that there were Ebola in Guinea? We called a quick IMS meeting. MPhil, who is in charge of surveillance, they have sent a rapid response team to the 3 counties, Bong, Lofa, and Nimba. A rapid response team has gone to those counties. You know, from the Ebola, we already have a lot of the structures in place. You have the county health officer, you have the district health officer, you have followed by the community, which contains the chiefs and all of the community of people. So these are the people that we want to be working with first. So our meeting consisted of sending a response team there and a surveillance team to begin to observe what's happening in those counties, especially at the border of Zalikwele, which I myself went and saw that we needed to put a lot more PPEs and gloves there, and which was done before my departure. And they also went to the Yekepa border, which was cleaned and gotten ready to be able to screen people as they cross. We were already screening, but to beef up the screening in those areas.
Dr. Jala also commented on the coronavirus vaccine dose eligible for taking the vaccine.
we have vaccines that will be coming into the country. Currently, we had to select, because Liberia has a very youthful population, we had to decide who are our target population for the vaccine. It's not completed, but so far we have people, healthcare workers, which will be bringing it to the healthcare workers and discussing it. All the healthcare workers, people that are 60 and older, people that have comorbidities like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other lung problems and other illnesses. And the last group of people will be people who are constantly in contact with others. For example, your police, your soldiers, and then people, international people that are residing here, UN and other people. We have also the typhoid vaccine. I know everybody know about typhoid because it's something that catch everyone all the time. So we are going to be vaccinating 0 to 15 years old for the typhoid fever. That vaccine will start sometime in March. All those who fit the criteria will be giving them the vaccine. Another vaccine that will also be on the board is the Nova polio vaccine. That vaccine will start sometime in this month and will be vaccinating 0 to 5 years old.
President George Weah is urging Ivorian refugees in Liberia to live in the confines of the law. President Weah wants the refugees to remain law-abiding in all things in their request to obtain legal documents for local integration. The Liberian leader said it would signal a bad show of friendship if the refugees violate the laws of Liberia. President Weah was speaking Wednesday when he dedicated 93 housing units for Ivorian refugees in Bang, Nima County. Meanwhile, President Weah said he will work with members of the legislature on the request of the refugees for a waiver of documents to gain legal status. President Weah said the request needs critical scrutiny and legislative guidance. Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Korji has announced plans to ensure the new resurgence of Ebola is contained. Speaking at the end of the Monrovia celebration, Mayor Korji said a Scarlington meeting was set up to spearhead surveillance in the city.
We are the direct respondent to our people. So we pray that we do not have such an experience again. But before then, those measures need to be put into place to ensure that, yes, indeed, when it comes, we can be able to engage it, we can be able to confront it, and save and preserve the life of our people. So right after Memorial Day, we're going to start having a real conversation. We're not going to wait for it. Like you said, we dissolve the tax hold of the corona, but basically we're going to pull a Scarlington team of the city together. So they begin now to start looking to the community, be on the on the watch, because we don't want somebody sneaking into the community and we do not know. Ebola is deadly. So that Scarlington team, as I move from here, by Friday, the Scarlington team will be announced, and then we are now going to call first for a consultative meeting with the local government and local authority. We call the community leaders, the youth leaders. So we put them the way we did before and say, look, be on their watch, be on the standby. When somebody entering your community and this person has sickness, can you hear the contact number? And thankfully for us, during the corona, we were able to create a center, a calling center at the Monrovia City government. So where young people are there, they receive call from the rural community. So we're just going to reinforce that modality.
In another development, Freetown City Mayor Yvonne Aki Soil said plans are on the way to recycle 40% of waste in Freetown.
Waste is one of the most expensive services to deliver, and your city needs you to pay for that service so that there are other things. I don't know what the role of the city is in health and in education, but for me, I would be really keen to ensure that I can build more tables and chairs and more classrooms for the children instead of having to collect people's waste for free. We all have a responsibility to pay for our waste. So we removed the skips. We removed the skips and we brought in the tricycles because it's sustainable. And we said what we need to do is to make sure we've got enough tricycles to service, and we're still there. We're still getting more to service all the households. But people need to pay at the point of collection. If you put it in just the skips, I'm going to be killed by the Monrovians who love their skips, I'm sure. This is just my humble opinion. Of course, Monrovia will make its own decisions. Right. But just from our experience, we found that the skip sort of model, it's very, very difficult to manage. The fact that you're not getting specific payments towards it means that you're struggling with fuel. You told me you have 14 trucks. 14 trucks for 1.5 million people. You know, we should all think about it, you know? It's not a lot. And it's a challenge. And how wonderful would it be if people within your community were themselves now the ones collecting the waste? So, you know, just a thought, Monrovians, just a thought.
She's Freetown City Mayor Yvonne Aki Soil. Earlier was Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koji. Well, viewers, if you just joining us, a reminder that you are watching LNTV News Live, and these are the top stories we're following. Government refused claims that constructing the Invincible Park opposite the fish market in Cinco would cause the women prayer group in the area to vacate. Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jara describes community engagement as the best tool to combat disease outbreaks. President George Weah urges Ivorian refugees to live in accordance with the laws of Liberia. Elsewhere in Africa, United Nations mission in South Sudan condemns armed attack on polio workers in that country. We take a short break. When we return, we bring you more developments. Please keep watching. Thanks for rejoining us. I'm Cecilia Gligley Clark, anchoring this edition. Let's take more developments. Ghanaian ambassador to Liberia, Ernest Asidu, has rallied Liberians and individuals of goodwill to support the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law at the University of Liberia. Ambassador Asidu said professors at the school are making sacrifices and must be supported to enhance their research capacity. The Ghanaian ambassador was speaking last evening at a cultural renaissance organized by the Monrovia City Corporation.
And if I had not gone to the University of Liberia's Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, I would not have known the quality of people that Liberia has. That school are teaching without taking any wage. They don't take any allowances. A lot of them are doing that pro bono, free of charge. How many of you know that? And they work up to the standard that can be measured everywhere. No. And they are introducing a level of integrity in that school. And I will continue to be an advocate for that school. All of you who are here, who are business people, who can afford a little bit of help with the Louis Atta Grant School of Law, please try and help them, because resources are scarce. And it is hard for them to meet the demanding tasks, especially in this time where they have to use distance learning and all that cost that is not programmed for. So please, whoever is here and can do anything for the school, I would want to encourage.
The group Men Engage has formally been launched in Morovia. Speaking during the launch of the program, USAID official Diodonin Pascal Yaka stressed the need to collaborate in ensuring human rights are protected.
I should also point out that this is not the first time that UNAIDS has collaborated with Men Engage. We have lots of partnerships of Men Engage in many different countries. As has been said, Men Engage works in many different countries. I'm just new in Liberia, a couple of months. I'm coming from Lesotho. I've worked in Swaziland, Eswatini. We have Men Engage platforms already, and we're working with them as well on the issues of HIV. So I'm happy to be part of this alliance in terms of collaboration. I would like to end my remarks by informing you, esteemed guests, of the new UNAIDS global strategy, the new global AIDS strategy, which is going to be officially available end of March. And its backdrop is to achieve 0 new HIV infections, AIDS-related discrimination, and 0 deaths. But we recognize that in this strategy, even more strongly, we cannot advance these targets without also advancing human rights, gender, and all other inequalities, and also transforming harmful social, cultural, religious practices and the patriarchal masculinities, but also engaging men.
Well, serving as keynote speaker during the launch, the program manager, Reverend Jensen Sekulu, called for enhanced efforts to educate girls, children, and break away from the old ways.
It is a great time to be alive. Today, my father did not have the opportunity to learn how valuable the opposite sex was. Unfortunately, his generation knew that women were good only for certain things. For his generation, women were not aware to be respected, but they had their place. My mother did not know that she had the same rights as her husband. She accepted as gospel what society ascribed to her. For them, educating a girl was a waste of time. It is a great time to be alive. We have an opportunity today to be a part of change, an earth-shaking change. We live in a time when it is becoming more and more evident to us that what we considered norms were harmful to our society. We realize today that when we restrict half of our population, we are already setting our target below the starting point.
Several schools in Monserrado, Maigibi, Grand Bassa, and Bumi counties have begun benefiting from the distribution of agro tools and seeds to enhance their agriculture productivity. One Planet Education Network is providing the items. The distribution began Wednesday at the Bethesda Christian Mission School in Maigibi County.
They are not many, but they are substantial. We are giving them to you on a loan basis. that means that at the end of the semester we expect them to be returned and reported, and if you take good care of them, we can add them up and make them more useful for you. There's a usage policy that we're going to email to you that we expect you to sign and send back to us, so that agreement will bind us together with these tools. And we thank you for your partnership. We also brought some seeds. These are all local seeds. Okay. You have corn, you have cucumber, you have peanuts, watermelon. And then sweet potatoes will come later on when you have made a bed for the sweet potatoes. Okay. But on behalf of our founder and CEO, Mr. George Newman, I'd like to present to you these seeds and these tools, and may they be used for the intended purpose. So you have shovels, you have watering cans, you have hoes, you have a spraying can that you will use jointly with John P. Michel. Okay. John P. Michel is a school at Boys Town. So you will use this jointly with them when they need it. They will call you and then you can send it to them. And y'all can decide who's going to keep it. I don't know if you will keep it or John P. Michel will keep it or whatever the case might be, but both principals can work around it. Okay. So Reverend Jala, it's a pleasure again, and thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, National Rice Federation of Liberia President Mohamed Kamara said the sector is prepared to ensuring full security in the country. Speaking at the just ended National Agriculture Fair, Mr. Kamara said prioritizing rice will enable farmers achieve in supporting the PAPD agenda.
Rice agriculture is a priority, specifically rice, and which of course, if you're doing agriculture without rice, you have not done anything for your country yet, which of course I believe that, because 90% of the population depends on rice. So I think that there should be a lot of emphasis and a lot of support given to the rice sector, which of course we have premised with a lot of recommendations to the government and to we, the key players of the sector. And I think we are ready from our end. And we just need the kind of support needed, the kind of equipment needed to carry on our readiness. Because you can be ready, and if you do not have the requisite support to get the kind of mechanized equipment and to carry on the production that is needed to feed our country, and it will be difficult. And aid partners.
Also speaking at the gathering, Makonan River Rice Farm CEO Sir Bernard urged farmers to migrate from subsistence to mechanized farming.
It's a clear indication that we, the Liberians, with what I'm seeing here, we can produce our own local food. We can be self-sufficient if the government and other organizations put hands in it and help to support the farmers. Because from our own experience, subsistence farmers cannot do nothing. We have to migrate to mechanized farming. That will help us to alleviate hunger in Liberia. We are even asking the government where we have allocated, where we have shown where we want to build a dam, several dams, and recondition those dams that Agromenco and LCADP had before, so that we can reconstruct them.
Well, for her part, Sankofa Incorporated CEO Yamani Doma showcased varieties of rice products for healthy diet in Liberia.
One of the great things about Sankofa is that we don't just want to be the usual. We want to do specialty things. We always believe that the Liberian market deserves quality. And you know, our slogan is African quality, African pride. We've always believed that this, for example, this is the black rice.
Black rice.
And it's reportedly the highest nutritious rice in the country, in the world rather. And this is, again,
I want you to just hold up black rice a little bit. Let me see it.
Yeah, you get to see.
Yes, okay. Is that the natural color?
100% natural.
Wow.
100% natural. So all you see, these are all the vitamins and minerals that you're seeing in the color without any kind of stripping, without any kind of painting, without any kind of chemical. This is our Bung Red, but it's the variety that resembles most close to the brown rice.
Okay.
Very healthy, high fiber content, high vitamin content. And so people who not only have dietary needs, I always tell people, because even this one, when you find it in other countries, or I was in Ivory Coast and they list it as diabetic rice because of the high nutritional value of grain, but it's still very good for everybody to eat well.
Well, let's now take our foreign development. The United Nations mission in South Sudan has condemned the attack by armed men on polio workers in Lake States in the central part of the country. The attack in the Malik area on Sunday left 3 people dead, 4 others wounded, and 1 missing. The motive behind the attack on the polio workers remains unclear. UN humanitarian coordinator in South Sudan, Eliane Nudihul, has called for those responsible to be brought to justice. The nationwide polio vaccination campaign started on Tuesday. It is the second round of vaccination since an outbreak in September last year. It is targeting children under 5 years old in 10 region states. Well, viewers, on that note, this is how we draw the curtains on tonight's edition of LNTV News Live. But before we go, a recap of the major stories we followed. Government refused claims that constructing the Invincible Park opposite the fish market in Sinko would cause the women prayer group in the area to vacate. Health Minister Dr. Wedemina Jala describes community engagement as the best tool to combat disease worldwide. President George Weah urges Ivorian refugees to live in accordance with the laws of Liberia. And elsewhere in Africa, United Nations mission in South Sudan condemns armed attack on polio workers in that country. Many thanks to our entire production team for making tonight's edition a success. Many thanks to you, our valued viewers, for watching. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Cecilia Bleakley Clark. I anchored. Good night from Painesville.